ॐ दक्षिणस्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्ण पाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्. So as I said in the last session, we are almost reaching the 1000th name. And in the verse number 105, we saw that with the 2 or 3 names from verse number 104, the Stotra number 104 to the present verse 105, till the last 2 words, it's only talking about Bhagwan Vishnu as all the karakas of a yajna. A yajna means a kind of a special spiritual activity. From the Veda Purva point of view, if you take it, it is certain kind of karmas, certain ways of propitiating the Lord according to a certain way, chanting certain mantras as per the instructions of the Vedas, especially the Veda Purva. But we can say that anything that we do with Bhagwan in mind, like our Panchamahayagnas in our daily life, any activity that we do, whether it is secular activity, social activity, or spiritual activity, Vaidika karma, whatever it is. Though here Vishnusahasranama is talking about Vaidika karmas, a yajna can mean whatever I do as an offering to the Lord, keeping Lord in mind and accepting the phalam as Ishvara Prasad. That is what can be called in broad as yajna. And therefore he was talked about as all the karakas of a yajna. Karakas means what? The doer of the yajna, the yajamana, the ritviks who are actually conducting the yajna on behalf of the yajamana, the yajna itself, the place where the yajna is conducted, the ahutis that are given, with what the ahutis that are given into yajna, the deities to whom these yajnas are dedicated or ahutis are given, and what is the karma that is expected out of these, what is the phalam that is expected of these karmas or this yajna. Said all these are called as the karakas. All these are actually the parts of a yajna, and all of them are Lord Vishnu. That means it shows that whatever is there is Ishvara. The doer is Ishvara. The activity done is Ishvara. That for whatever purpose it is done is Ishvara. The whole thing is Ishvara. And if this is the object that I have in mind, and this is the attitude that I have in mind, then every activity that I do becomes Yagna Swarupa. Whatever I do, because I take Bhagwan as the Karta, whatever I am doing as Bhagwan, whatever I get out of that, it is not mine, it is Bhagwan's. However it is done, this body, mind, sense complex and the buddhi, whatever is really involved in this whole karma, whether it is a secular karma or a religious karma, it's nothing but Lord, nothing but Ishvara, nothing but Lord Vishnu, any of my Ishta Devatas it can be. Lord Vishnu is only one of the upalakshanas for any Ishta Devata. Ultimately, it means everything goes to Bhagwan Narayana only. Therefore, it was talked about as the one who is in the form of all the karakas of every Vaidika or spiritual activity, including any secular activity also. Now, we have to come to the 983rd Nama, Annam. Annam. That which is eaten, that which is consumed by the jiva is called as Annam. Whatever the whole world is Annam for us. The eyes consume color and form. So the color and form, this entire Jagat perceived by the eyes, that which is seen is nothing but Annam. That which is perceived by any of my other sense organs is also Annam. That which is consumed. Food is consumed, so Annam means that which is consumed. Adhyate bhutaihi atticha bhutani iti Annam, Bhagwan Shankaracharya says. And that very same Annam can consume the eater later. For example, if I have eaten indiscriminately, that very Annam eats me in the form of disease or, inconvenience or roga later. So the whole universe is considered as Annam, and it is nothing but Lord Vishnu. That which is consumed by every jiva is nothing but Lord Vishnu. That's why when then I consume food, I'm careful about how much I eat, what I eat, that I do not throw away the food. I share the food. I value the food as nothing but Ishvara or Vishnu, Annam. Then 984, Annadaha. The eater of the food also is Lord Vishnu. What is eaten is Lord Vishnu. Whoever is the eater is also Lord Vishnu. That means bhokta. Who's the eater? The bhokta. The bhokta is also Lord Vishnu. Annam, that which is consumed, is also Lord Vishnu. The one who is the consumer is also Lord Vishnu. The karta is Lord Vishnu. The bhokta, when I consume annam, whatever bhoga I experience, that is also Lord Vishnu only. So there is nothing other than the Lord here in this universe. Everything that is there is nothing but Lord Vishnu. Then we go to the 106th stotra. Atmayoni swayam jataha vaikhana samagayanaha devaki nandana srishta kshitishah papanashanaha. Atmayonihi, the one who is the material cause of everything. Lord Vishnu being in his Swarupam Brahman, there is only one consciousness Brahman, Ekameva Advitiyam. And that Ekameva Advitiya consciousness itself is both the material cause and the intelligent cause of the universe. We have already seen that, isn't it? We have already seen that earlier also. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. What is Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam? Brahman, here Ishvara or Lord Vishnu, is the one who himself manifests as the whole universe. There's no second thing. Without the help of a second thing, he alone, the self itself is the cause. Lord Vishnu himself is the cause, the material cause of the entire universe. Therefore, he is called as Atma Yonihi. Yonihi means the Upadana Karanam. Atma Yoni. Lord Vishnu himself is the Atma Yoni, the cause for this entire universe. 986th Nama says, Swayanjataha, the one who is himself born, the one who decides, the one, there are Upanishads which say, So kamayata bahusyam praja yeti satapotapyata satapastaptva idagam sarvam asrijat. So what is said is, Lord Vishnu or Ishvara or that Brahman desired. So that means Lord Vishnu is the efficient cause or the nimitta karanam of this entire universe. This limitless consciousness, one without a second, which we call as Brahman or Atma or Ishvara, and in this case what we call as Lord Vishnu, is that very one consciousness which is the Upadana Karanam and also the Nimitta Karanam of entire universe. That is why in Mundakopanishad, the Shishya, Shaunaka, who went to his teacher Angiras, asked, what is it by knowing which everything is known? Because that which is the cause of everything is this Lord. Lord means Ishvara, Brahman. I have told you Brahman and Ishvara are used interchangingly, which means the same. When I give a form to that formless Brahman, it becomes Saguna Brahman or Ishvara, meant for my puja, meant for my worship. But by nature, Swarupataya, Ishvara is nothing but that existence consciousness. So the one who's the Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. So he is called as Atmayonihi Swayanjataha. Then 987. Vaikhanaha, the one who digs deep. Khananam means digging. Vaikhanana means Visheshena Khananat Vaikhanaha, Bhagwan Shankaracharya says. Visheshena Khananat. Visheshena means what? The one who digs deep. One meaning given is, as Varaha Avatara, Bhagwan Vishnu had to go deep into the ocean to protect and rescue Mother Earth. That is one meaning. The other is, if you really want to know what Lord Vishnu is, you have to dig deep into the Shastra, as we are doing now. Study of the Shastra, study of Vedanta. I have to go deep into the Vedanta Shastra. That is what really gives me, helps me to understand the nature of Lord Vishnu or Brahman. Therefore, Vaikhanaha means the one who is achieved I won't say, the one who's understood, the one whose nature is understood by digging deep into the words of the Shastra. And therefore, he's called as Vaikhana. Also, like the roots of a tree, which go very deep into the earth, okay, to sustain the tree. Similarly, Lord Vishnu, as the Adhishtanam of this entire universe, is the ultimate depth or the ultimate content of this entire universe. Remember one meaning, that Lord Vishnu is known by deep study of the Shastra. So, Vaikhana. Then 988. Samagayanaha, the one who sings Sama, the Samavedi, Samagayanaha. We have already seen that he is the Brihat Sama, we have seen that. He is the one who is the Sama Mantra. He is in the form of Samaveda. He is the one who is in the form of, the one who is chanting the Samaveda. So this is a repeat where it says Samagayanaha, the one who sings the Samaveda. That is, through Samaveda, he reveals itself. Naturally, through every Veda, Bhagwan reveals himself. That is why Bhagwan Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita that among Vedas, I am the Samaveda. That's because Samaveda is the same. Rigveda Riks chanted in a musical form. So that is what is called as the Sama Gayanaha. Therefore, he is Sama Gayana. Then 989th name says Devaki Nandanaha. Lord Vishnu taking his avatara as the very son of Devaki and Vasudeva. Nandanaha means the one who is the one who brings happiness to the mother. A child, a son, a child, any child, it can be a daughter also, the one who brings happiness to the mother. And it is said that here, every jiva can be considered as Devaki, and Bhagwan is the one who gives the ultimate happiness. The ultimate Sukha Swarupa for every jiva is nothing but Lord Narayana, Lord Vishnu, and therefore it is said that he is Devaki Nandana. Devaki Nandana specifically refers to Lord Krishna, whereas if you look at it from a general form, it is every jiva is like the mother for whom I can express my bhakti to the Lord in many forms. There are many people who express their bhakti to the Lord as their own children also. So here, Devaki, every jiva is happy, ultimate source of happiness for every jiva is none other than Lord Vishnu. That means what? Every relationship, in every connection, whether it's a mother and child, whether it is any relation, what is there is the love that binds is nothing but Lord Vishnu. Then 990 name. Srishta, we have already seen it long back, somewhere around the 500th nama or something like that, a little later. Srishta, the creator. When we see that Atma Yonihi Swayan Jataha, we saw just now, by which he creates the entire universe. Means what? The one who manifests as the entire universe with the help of his Maya Shakti, the creator of all worlds. Does it mean that Lord Vishnu is doing any work as a creator? No. Prakriti or Maya and Lord Vishnu together, create an illusion, a manifestation of names and forms called as the Jagat, whose ultimate content is existence, consciousness, Lord Vishnu. Therefore, it can be said that he is the nimitta upadana karanam of this entire universe as a creator, sustainer, and resolver of the universe. Then, 991 Nama. Kshitishaha. Kshitehe bhumehe ishaha. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, what is Kshiti? Earth. The entire manifest universe. Kshiti. Kshitehe bhumehe ishaha. He is the very Lord of the earth, the ruler of the earth. Earth means what? The entire universe. Samagra Aishwaryam Yasya. The one who has got overlordship, the ultimate ruler, the only ruler, the one who has got total overlordship over entire matter principle is none other than Bhagwan Vishnu. And we saw that earlier also, Mahidharaha. So many names we have already seen as the ruler of the earth. So, as the creator, as the sustainer, and as the resolver of this entire universe, he is also called as Kshitishaha. So, he is the ruler of the entire universe. Then comes 992. Papanashanaha, destroyer of all papas. When a person understands that I am that Atma or Brahman, which is none other than Ishvara, this knowledge burns away all my old karmas and karma phalas which are in my account. All the sarchita karmas are burnt away by this knowledge. What knowledge? Aham, there is Jiva Ishvara Abhedaha, Aham Brahmasmi. This knowledge ultimately washes away all my karma. Jnanagnihi bhasmasat, sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute. We saw this in Bhagavad Gita. So all the papas include punya also, because punya also makes me come back again and again. So all my papas are and punyas, they are all absolutely cleared off. And when I surrender to the Lord, even those things that I do unintentionally, the papas that have happened from me, certain inevitable papas like panchasunas, all these papas, when I surrender and take the name of the Lord, and when I see myself not as the Karta, but as a mere instrument of Lord Vishnu, then all my papas are resolved. He literally absorbs, or he literally destroys all my papas. As a bhakta also, what kind of a bhakta? As a jignasu bhakta, as a jnani bhakta, also my papas are destroyed. As a jnani, as I told you, they are destroyed. And my surrender to the Lord, I see the Lord, I see Lord Vishnu, Narayana, or Ishvara, any of my Ishta Devata I can take in the place of Lord Vishnu here. I see that Ishvara as everything. There's nothing other than Ishvara. I am also that Ishvara. Where is the question of my doing any papa? As long as ahankara, mamakara is there, then it becomes my actions, my punya, my papa. But when everything is Lord Vishnu, where is the question? Yes, we need some ahankara, some mamakara for our daily activities. It's impossible to be totally without ahankara, because ahankara, mamakara is prakriti. It is something with which we are born. It is natural. Without that minimal ahankara, mamakara, it is not possible to survive in this world. What Vedanta says is, it doesn't say you should totally lose your, no, it doesn't say. If I have to go from here to there, if I have to do any vyavahara, I need some kind of a, yes, I have to do this. But at the same time, yeah, I'm only an instrument, that much. So that much ahankara, mamakara is okay for my day-to-day routine life in this vyavaharika prapancha. But then when that ahankara, mamakara becomes the predominant force in my life, then I become different from Ishvara. Therefore here, what is said is here, papa nashanaha, that is that whatever I have done with ahankara mamakara, those papas also, when I surrender to the Lord, they are completely absorbed by the Lord. Now, what is he the next verse, 107th verse, which is almost, we have landed. And the last verse, Lord Vishnu is talked about as a upasya murti. What is an upasya murti? That murti, like how I started my chanting with, in the beginning, how I chanted with the murti, isn't it? Similarly here, I end my chanting also bringing into mind the upasya murti. Like when we start, we started with what? Shantakaram, Bhujagashayanam. There are any number of, verses which we can start with, where we remember Lord Vishnu as a form to hold on as an alambanam to Lord Vishnu. Dhyana shlokas, they're called dhyana shlokas. After that, we go into this vichara, detailed vichara of Vishnusahasranama, and then I have to come back. And when I come back and when I come out of the chanting, I again bring back this Upasya Murti with various ayudhas of Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu with, as I can relate to, as a human figure with certain embellishments. So let us read this 107th verse. शङ्खभृन्नन्दकी चक्री शार्ङ्गधन्वा गदाधरः रथाङ्गपाणिरक्षोभ्यः सर्वप्रहरणायुधः सर्वप्रहरणायुध ॐ नम इति. So here it is said that Shankhabhrit, the one who has the conch, like Panchajanya, which is the conch of Bhagwan Krishna. So here, the one who has a conch in his hand. And the sound of the conch is supposed to be auspicious. It is supposed to keep all the evil away. That is why in the beginning of any kind of a puja or worship or any karma, the Shankhanada is given as something, as an auspicious start to whatever I'm doing. And it is as though it is the call of the Lord. Shankhanada is like Bhagavan calling us. It is the call of the Lord, the auspicious sound, the call of the Lord, come, surrender to me, and keeping away all the negative influences. That is supposed to be the conch symbolizing. The what conch symbolizes is that. Then 994, Nandaki. Nandaki, the one who has the sword called as Nandaka. His sword is called as Nandaka. What is the function of the sword? To cut away the tree of samsara. Jnana asina, 15th chapter, Bhagwan Krishna said, with the axe of knowledge, with the sword of knowledge, the samsara tree can be destroyed. So here it is what? It is the sword means destroying ignorance, destroying the tree of samsara. Also, here also it means that, this Nandaka or the sword can also remove all my internal, talking about, thinking of that as the one which can remove all my inner impurities, all the malas. Ignorance being the subtlest of the malas. Mala means what? Impurity. There are gross impurities, kama, krodha, lobha, everything. But one subtle impurity is what is called as the ignorance, which keeps me in the tree of samsara, coming again and again and again. So this sword, Nandaka, the one who's holding the sword, to remove the samsara bandhana of every jiva who surrenders to him. So he is the one who's holding this Nandaki. Chakri, 995. We have already seen that earlier. The one who holds the chakra. The one who has his ayudha, the one who has his, astra as a chakra. Okay? This is discus. As Sudarshana Chakra, it is called Sudarshana Chakra of Narayana or Bhagwan Krishna. So what does this represent? The chakra represents the Manas Tattvaha. The Manas Tattvaha. And chakra symbolizes the clarity of perception. The chakra can remove the impurities of the mind. Sattva can be more introduced into the mind, and the mind can become more clearly seeing. The clarity of the mind, clarity of perception, and therefore it is said that chakra removes all my inner enemies, all my internal mala. Sword was meant for the subtlest of the mala, ignorance. Chakra is supposed to be for grosser malas inside me and outside me also, and helps this mind to very clearly see the tattvam of this entire universe. So chakram representing the manas tattva. Then 996. Sharngadhanva. So the one who has a bow called Sharnga. That is the bow. So bow is called as the Sharnga here. And the one who deals with this bow, the one who holds this bow. What is a bow here again? That which is released, the arrow which is released from the bow, is to tackle problems which are remote from myself. Isn't it? There are problems or negativities within me. Jnana asina, yes, that is one of the ayudhas. Chakra, not only destroying the negativities outside but within me. But there are so many negative things, incontrollable and variables which may be coming in my way as a mumukshu, as a bhakta. And it is that for taking care of this remote problems which are not in my control, many of the Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika tapas are not under my control. And it is said that any bhakta who surrenders to Lord Vishnu, or any mumukshu who wants to know Lord Vishnu in his essence, in his essential form, says this Sharngaha is the bow that represents, that helps in destroying the remote negativities or obstacles. And this Sharnga represents the Indriya Tattva. Chakra represents what? Manas Tattva, Manah Tattva. Whereas Sharnga represents the Indriya Tattvas. The Indriyas are represented. Dhamma, that is. Okay, so that is Sharnga Dhanva. Then 997. Gadadharaha, the one who has got the mace which is called as the Gada. And it is said that name of Lord Vishnu's Gada is Kaumodaki. Kaumodaki is the very name of this mace or the club that is used as an ayudha by Lord Vishnu. And it represents the Buddhi Tattva. So the Gada helps in reminding me to be discriminative, to be discreet, makes my Buddhi a Vijnanavan Sarathi, which we have seen in Kathopanishad. Therefore, Chakra represents the Manat Tattva, Sharnga, the bow, represents the Indriya Tattva, and Gada represents what? The Buddhi Tattva. And that is what? Disciplining the mind, making the mind a discriminative mind, giving mind the viveka that it requires, the Atma Anatma Viveka, for the pursual of this knowledge for a moksha purusharthi. Then 998. Rathanga Panihi, the one who wields the wheel of a chariot also as an ayudha. It is said that in Mahabharata war, when there was an opportunity for Arjuna to finish Bhishmacharya, out of that, being the Pitamaha, Arjuna was not able to do it. And it is said that Lord Krishna, for the first time, the only time, he jumped out of the chariot and took the wheel of another chariot and said to Arjuna, if you don't do it, I'm going to do, because the time has come for Bhishmacharya to go. And if you don't do it, then I am going to do it. And he was about to use Rathanga, the wheel of the chariot, as a chakra. Lord can use anything as a chakra. So the wheel of the chariot represents chakra, because at that time, Lord Krishna did not have his chakra. So he used that Rathanga, the wheel of the chariot, took it in his hand, and he took it as a chakra, basically to save Arjuna, to save Dharma, to protect Dharma. That's what he did. Then 999. Akshobhyaha, that is Atayeva Ashakya Kshobhanaha iti. Ashakya Shobhana. Kshobhana means disturbance. The one who can be shaken, the one who can be disturbed, that is Kshobhana. Lord Vishnu is the one who cannot be shaken by anything. Nothing can shake him, because he is the very Lord. Samagra Jnanam, Samagra Viryam, Samagra Vairagyam, Samagra Balam, Samagra Yashas, Samagra Shri, everything in total quantity. So unshakable by anything. Though the world is his own creation, we are doing all kinds of akramas. But can any of our akramas really shake the Lord? No, they cannot shake the Lord. Then, lastly, there is a repetition here. Sarva praharanayudha iti. Okay, what he says is Sarva praharanayudha om nama iti. That is the last name. That means what? The one who is armed with all kinds of weapons which are necessary to protect the bhakta. These are a few weapons, these are a few astra shastras that have been talked about here. But anything can become an astra and a shastra for Lord Vishnu. Like Rathangapani, like the wheel of a chariot could become his astra. Correct? Then for Lord Narasimha, when he came to Avatara, his nails became his shastra, literally his instrument to destroy. Like that, anything can become, even a blade of grass can become an ayudha for the Lord. Therefore, Sarva Praharanayudha Om Nama Iti. Praharana means striking. When the Lord wants to strike adharma and protect the dharmi, then anything can become an ayudham in his hand. In addition to all the ayudhas that have been talked about. Bhagwan is not interested in posing his ayudhas. All the ayudhas are meant for, Shishta for the sake of protecting the dharmis, for protecting the bhaktas, for protecting the shishyas, to avoid or to destroy any kind of obstacles and vignas for a moksha purusharthi to move towards his goal of moksha. So, Sarva Praharanayudha Ayudaha, the one who has all kinds of weapons. Ultimately, what is an ayudha? An instrument which helps in solving a problem, correct? That is the ayudha, right? A screwdriver is also an ayudha. For a lock breaker, whatever he brings, that is also an ayudha. So whatever is the problem, for that, any instrument which helps me in solving my problem is an ayudha. And Bhagwan Vishnu has to solve the problem of his bhaktas. It's nothing other than anything can be his ayudha. So, Sarva Praharanayudha Om Nama Iti. The second time, the same thing, Sarva Praharana Ayudha is, that means it is the ending of the Sahasranama. Dvivachanam. When in the Shastra, the same word or same sentence is repeated a second time, Dvivachanam, it usually occurs at the end of the Shastra, at the end of a section, at the end of a khanda. It means that the present, whatever we are studying, is over. Om Nama Iti. Om Nama. Om. That, to that Vishnu who is known as Om via Omkara, Pranava, my salutations, namaskaras. Then the last verse is again praising the Lord. Vanamali Gadi Shanki Shankhi Chakri Chanandaki Shriman Narayano Vishnuhu Vasudevo Bhirakshatu Vasudevo Bhirakshatu Om Nama Iti. So the one Vanamali, we have already seen these words, the one who wears the garlands of forest flowers or wildflowers. Gadi, Shangi, Shankhi, Chakri, Nandaki, which we already saw now. The one who is holding all these ayudhas for the protection of the bhaktas. Shriman Narayano Vishnuhu. This Sriman Narayana, who is none other than Lord Vishnu, Vasudevaha, the one who is nothing but Vasu and Devaha, the existence and consciousness and the adhishtanam of the entire universe. Abhirakshatu. May I be protected. May we all be protected. And the second time it comes again, Vasudevo bhirakshatu om nama iti. Vasudeva abhirakshatu. May Lord Vasudeva, who's none other than Lord Vishnu, protect us. Abhirakshatu. Om Namaha. My salutations to that Lord Vasudeva. Vasudeva also is a name for Lord Krishna. Yes, but I have told you the meaning of Vasudeva. What is the meaning of Vasudeva? Vasu means, the one who is Vasati. Yasmin sarvasvam vasati yasmin. Everything is in him. He's the adhishtanam for everything. Devaha, the light of consciousness in everything. The existence and consciousness in everything. That is what is called as Vasudeva, Bhagavan Vishnu. My namaskaras, salutations to Lord Vishnu. Om Namah Iti. Of course, now we have completed the Sahasranama Stotra Vibhaga. And after this also, there are about 30 odd verses which are talking about the Phalashruti, which is called as Uttara Bhaga. We are not going to deal with it. Like Purva Bhaga, which had so many verses, but we took only important verses which were as an introduction to our main Sahasranama. Talking about something like Dhyana Shlokas we took up. We did not deal with all of them. Here also, Uttara Bhaga talks about various karma phalas that can be attained by a person who has taken up the chanting of Vishnusahasranama with Shraddha and Bhakti. What are the results that can be accrued? But why are we studying this Vishnusahasranama? Not for material benefits. Our Vishnusahasranama Vichara is not for the sake of gaining any material benefits. Our purpose of Vishnusahasranama is to understand what Ishvara is, to see the Lord Vishnu, as everything in everything, to see the whole universe as nothing but the manifestation of Lord Vishnu. And with this, to get sufficient Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Nishchalyam, Jnana Yogyata Prapti, for the sake of attaining our ultimate goal, which is moksha. Therefore, for us, Vishnu Sahasranama is more of a vichara. And whatever we have chanted as Vishnu Sahasranama along with the vichara, that is nothing but a nishkama karma. Chanting is a vachika karma. When I am doing some puja with the chanting, it becomes kayika vachika karma. What we have done is vichara of Vishnu Sahasranama. Each and every word we have tried to see what it means. It is vichara, it is manasika karma. So vachika karma and manasika karma done together as a nishkama karma, not for the sake of achieving anything materially. Of course, material benefits will be there as byproducts, whether we want it or not. Yes, we will. If we deserve whatever we deserve, whatever is obstructing what we deserve, Lord Vishnu will definitely take care of that according to our prarabdha. But what is it that the sankalpa that we have done for taking up the study of Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra Vichara? It is for Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Nishchalyam, Jnana Yogyata Prapti, Atma Jnanam and Moksha. Therefore, it is not necessary for us to go through all these 30 odd mantras to see what are all the phalas that one can get out of it. It's not necessary. I know what I want. We all know what we want. We are moksha purusharthis. We are using Vishnu Sahasranama as an upasana, nishkama upasana, as a nishkama vachika karma. Along with that, for vichara, to see that Lord Vishnu is nothing but this entire universe itself. To broaden my perspective of the Lord. To broaden my perspective to see the Lord as Vishwarupa Darshana. to get out of my limited understanding of Ishvara. And when there is Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Nischayam, what is the nature of this Ishvara? What is the Swarupam of this Ishvara? Is this Ishvara Swarupam different from me? Or am I also of the same Swarupa? This inquiry begins. So, Vishnusahasranama for us, these last 40 sessions which we have taken up, is not merely a chanting. It is a question of a nishkama upasana for the sake of Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Nischayam. I'm feeling extremely blessed today that we could take up this particular study. And Sahasra means, Nama means not simply calling Ishvara by any number 1,000 names. It means relating to Lord, relating to Ishvara in thousands of ways. I may have some 4-5 names. Lord Vishnu, everything in this Jagat is Lord. Everything in Jagat is Ishvara. Lord Vishnu as Ishvara can be connected with, or I can connect with Lord, with Ishvara in millions of ways. So this 1,000 names are not the only names. These 1,000 names are 1,000 ways of connecting with Ishvara. 1,000 ways of connecting with this Lord Vishnu. And ultimate purpose of these 1,000 ways of connecting with Lord Vishnu is to see everything as Ishvara. There's nothing other than Ishvara. Everything is Lord Vishnu. And that was the purpose of our taking up this study. But then we can, summarize the Uttara Bhaga or the Phalashruti Bhaga by the last verse of this Phalashruti or Uttara Bhaga, which gives exactly with what kind of an intention or bhavana that I have done this Vishnusahasranama Vichara. We concentrated more on the Vichara than on merely reciting the names. Merely reciting the names also has its own punya. But if I recite the Sahasranama, knowing at least one meaning of the name that I am chanting, it becomes a japa. The whole Vishnu Sahasranama mentally chanted can become a japa. Like Rudra. When Rudra also, if I am mentally able to chant the whole Rudra can become a mantra. It's a mantra japa. So when I can mentally chant Vishnu Sahasranama, it becomes a japa for me. It is a mental, chanting, which is nothing but the whole thing becomes one mantra. It is like a mantra japa. And here our purpose has been to know the vichara of this, vichara, to go deeper into this whole thing, to go deeper into knowing Ishvara. Of course, what we have done is, we have not yet dug deep, okay? We are not yet Vaikhananas, as we saw just now. We have dug a very small, superficial aspect in trying to understand the very nature of this whole universe as Lord Vishnu. We have done a small attempt in the form of trying to connect with Lord Vishnu as everything. And this definitely will have the punyam of Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Nischayam for us. So, what I can conclude this whole thing, which is the very last concluding verse of the entire Vishnu Sahasranama, even Uttara Bhaga, is Kayena vacha manasendriyaiva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi adyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. So Kayena, by my body, vacha, by my words, manasa, by mind, indriyairva, by indriyas, buddhya, okay, buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat. Whatever I have done, consciously, unconsciously, intentionally, unintentionally, okay, absent-mindedly, not knowing what I have done. Let all these actions, karomi yadyat sakalam paramase, whatever I have done before and whatever I'll be doing in future, Narayanaya. O Lord, it is an offering to you. With this, we complete the Sahasranama Stotra Vichara, and I cannot tell you how grateful I am to our entire Guru Parampara, especially to our beloved Parama Puja Sadyojata Shankarashram Swamiji, who trusted me in giving out these 40 sessions of a small peek into the Vishnusahasranama Vichara. Every Sahasranama should be studied like this. And we have taken Bhagwan Shankara's Bhashya as the authentic source or a pramana for this Bhashya, so that there is no individual interpretation of anything. And I'm ever grateful to Lord Vishnu himself, to Ishvara, to our entire Guru Parampara, especially to Sadyojat Shankarashram Swamiji. And also, there are so many unseen hands which have helped me in this for the last 5 years. We started this whole process. Actually, we started in 2020, and we have completed actually 5 years in this study of the scriptures, and we have now finished a very important Upasana Grantha, which is Vishnu Sahasranama Grantha. And I thank all those people who have helped me in this endeavor. And I thank all the people who have listened and benefited out of this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Tat Sat.